You're probably scrolling through a dozen beverage coolers, wondering if any of them will actually fit the way you entertain, and more importantly, if you're not just throwing cash at a box that will sit half empty on a countertop. The fear of buying the wrong fridge is real, especially when you're trying to keep a mix of cans, craft bottles, and maybe a few party-size kegs all at the perfect chill without ending up with a noisy, underperforming appliance. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the ZLINE 24-inch Monument 154 can beverage fridge and see whether it earns a spot in your kitchen or if it's one of those nice at-a-look-at pieces that ends up as a storage unit for pizza boxes. First off, the Monument is marketed as a 24-inch, stainless steel unit that can hold up to 126 standard 12 ounces cans or 12 Bordeaux-style bottles. That sounds like a solid number for a family that likes to keep a variety of drinks on hand, or for a small home bar that wants to serve a weekend crowd without constantly restocking. The single-zone temperature range of 34°F to 50°F is adjustable via an LED display, so you can dial it down for beers and raise it a touch for whites that you prefer a little warmer. The door is double pane glass, which should theoretically reduce temperature swing when you open it, and the whole thing can be installed either built-in under a counter or freestanding, giving you flexibility if you're working with a cramped bar area. Now, here's where the practical side comes in. If you have a dedicated beverage wall or a kitchen island that can accommodate a 24-inch fridge, the size works nicely, big enough to look impressive but not so massive that it dominates the space. The adjustable glass shelves are a nice touch. You can slide them up or down to fit tall bottles or a stack of cans, which solves the one-size-fits-all issue you see in cheaper models that only have fixed metal racks. The reversible door also means you can install it on either side of a cabinet, a small but handy feature if your layout forces a particular swing direction. That said, the biggest question is whether the cooling performance lives up to the promise. The single-zone design means the whole interior sits at the same temperature, so if you're loading it with a mix of chilled cans and room temperature wine, the fridge has to work harder to bring everything to the set point. For most casual users, that's fine, but if you're a serious homebrew enthusiast who wants different zones for lagers versus ales, you'll be missing out. The LED display is clear and easy to use, but it doesn't give you any granular diagnostics, just the set temperature, which can be a bit of a blind spot if you suspect the unit is struggling to maintain that range. One of the hidden trade-offs with the dual-pane glass door is that the larger glass surface can let more heat in each time you open it, especially if your kitchen is warm. In a real-world scenario, imagine you're hosting a game night and the door gets opened every 510 minutes. The temperature can bounce, and because there's only one zone, the whole fridge will cycle on and off more frequently. That can increase energy consumption and might cause a noticeable hum. For most users, the noise level is low enough not to be a distraction, but if you plan to put the unit right next to a living room TV or a bedroom door, the slight whir could become more noticeable. The rating signal on Amazon is pretty stark: 1.0 out of 5 stars from 2 reviews. While we don't have the exact text of those reviews, the low score suggests at least a couple of owners ran into problems that outweighed the positives. It's worth keeping in mind that a small sample size can swing wildly, but it's also a red flag that something isn't clicking for some users. If you're the type who checks a product's warranty and after-sales support before committing, you might want to dig a little deeper. ZLINE's customer service reputation isn't something we can verify here, but you can always reach out to them with specific concerns about temperature stability or door sealing before you buy. So, who should consider this fridge? If you're a moderate drinker who wants a sleek, stainless steel appliance that can store a good number of cans and a handful of bottles, and you're fine with a single temperature zone, the Monument fits the bill. It's especially attractive for people who want a built-in look without the price tag of high-end wine coolers. It also works well for small offices or a man cave where you need a dedicated spot for soda and beer, and you won't be constantly opening the door. Who should skip it? Anyone looking for precise temperature control across multiple beverage types, or anyone who expects a quiet, set-and-forget fridge that never fluctuates when the door is opened repeatedly. If you're planning to use it for long-term wine storage at a specific temperature,